Bixby police arrested a man moments after he robbed a bank armed with a gun.
Chiefsaholic, also known as Xavier Michael Babudar, is a criminal who was disguising himself as a f***ing wolf who loved the Kansas City Chiefs.
Good God Almighty, are we in for a doozy today, because one of the most popular Chiefs superfans, who went by the name Chiefsaholic, was arrested for robbing a bank in Oklahoma. And the kicker is, it was merely a pit stop as he was on his way to Texas to watch the Chiefs and Texans game last Sunday. So let's talk about it in depth. But first, how about those? This is definitely a much different video than the norm. I usually cover in-depth videos about the Chiefs team, specifically pressers, stats, game previews, recaps, etc. Though at times, because I'm my own boss, I'll veer off and cover some crazier stories around or involving Chiefs Kingdom. And this is certainly one of them, so here we go. Chiefsaholic, whose real name was recently revealed as Xavier Michael Budabar, something like that. I'm just going to call him Xavier. It's a lot easier. He was probably the most popular Chiefs superfan out there, at least as far as social media is concerned. He traveled to every game, home or away, and always drove. More on maybe why later. And he was known for his funny trolling Chiefs memes, trolling fans in the comments, asking ladies out that were out of his league, and then his pre and post game celebratory videos of him celebrating either in front of whatever stadium he was at or within said stadium. Oh, and he did all of this dressed up as a wolf, which is extremely ironic since, you know, the term a wolf in sheep's clothing. Yeah, he seems to have been living out that sort of a life, at least to some extent. So in this video, I'm going to first break down what I can confirm with facts about what happened over this past weekend and some of his history. And from there, I'll talk about a couple more things that have made their rounds around Twitter and some other things I can pretty much confirm, but it's not 100%. I'll try my best to be as accurate as I can. And as time goes on, I may do an update video because this situation is absolutely insane. This Chiefsaholic superfan built himself quite the following and was well known throughout Chiefs Kingdom for his outfit, traveling to every game, and constantly placing big, huge bets and wagers on the Chiefs, which he would share and brag about via screenshots on his social media accounts. And when asked about how did he get that money to be able to do all that, he said he's blessed and has a nice high-paying job, which we'll talk about here in a bit. I've had a few messages back and forth with the guy personally. He follows me on Twitter. I follow them back. I mean, pretty much everybody in Chiefs Kingdom followed him back. The last message he sent to me was on August 21st, 2022. He said, "Hey brother, just wanted to let you know I've been watching your YouTube videos on my lunch breaks at work. Awesome stuff, man. Keep going strong." So while we don't know what to believe about this man or his life at this point, it did appear that he worked some sort of job since he was on his lunch break watching my videos. He sent this tweet out a week ago saying that he worked his way up from a $12 an hour warehouse job to managing multiple warehouses throughout the Midwest region and makes an excellent living at only 28 years old. So maybe that's where he got all of his money to be able to travel, place all these wagers. But maybe it's something else. It's hard to really know what's going on here and what to believe, if anything at all, and we'll get to why. Starting first with a bit of this man's history with the law. In 2014, Xavier was arrested on October 3rd in Hays, Kansas at what I believe was a Walmart in suspicion of theft and was listed as 20 years old, but 2 years later, in 2016, he was again arrested for misdemeanor theft and listed at age 28 in this mugshot. Well, remember that tweet of his last week about being 28? You can't be 28 in 2016 and also in 2022. So I think the first arrest in 2014 is correct, listing him at age 20 then, because 8 years ago puts him at 28 today. Either way, it's impossible to know because the guy lied about going to Kansas State University in 2016. You see, when I want to research a subject, I don't mind doing some digging. And so when he said he graduated from KSU in 2016, I actually found somebody who graduated from KSU in 2016, and I had them log into their alumni portal, which they'd never done before, on KSU's website, and then they sent me the entire graduation list, and I manually searched for every combo of Xavier's name. His first name only, his last name only, his middle name only, looked for his degree, looked for anything that resembled this man. He is not on there. If he did, it wasn't in 2016, I can promise you that. Either way, homie seems to be lying about most things, or we don't know what to believe, so I don't know if it really matters. Anyway, back to the arrest. A year later, he was arrested in 2017 and charged with obstructing the legal process / MISD misdemeanor, which means this: obstructing legal process or official duty is knowingly and intentionally obstructing, resisting, or opposing any person authorized by a law to serve process in the service or execution of, or in the attempt to serve or execute any writ, warrant, process, or order of a court or the discharge of any official duty. So, naughty. He was then arrested in 2020 in Platte County, Missouri, though I'm honestly not sure what it's for. I cannot find reasons why. I tried to even do some digging on some other paid sites, and his name does not pop up, even though other members of his family does. He has basically scrubbed himself from the face of the earth, but we found his name. So you're able to find some stuff, just not as deep as I, as a civilian, am sadly able to find. And then here's something else. In September of this year, 2022, Xavier filed some sort of civil action lawsuit for like $28,000 against Robert Kraft for slipping and falling down and injuring himself at the Patriots Stadium. The actual complaint listed was that he, quote, suffered serious personal injuries when he slipped and fell on an untreated icy parking lot. So on top of all the arrests, he filed a lawsuit with Robert Kraft, and he was seen even wearing a knee brace out at a game before, so maybe he was really hurt. I have no idea. All I know is that is pretty wild. And then we have finally arrived to the here and now. And y'all need to buckle up, because this is where it gets pretty freaking crazy. Xavier was driving to Texas to show up and watch the Chiefs versus Texans game, and well, he never arrived. Not only did he not show up, but he went radio silent on all of his social media platforms, which literally never happens. He posts very regularly, pretty much all day, every day, or at least is extremely active in the comment section, and silence. I first heard this a couple days later when multiple accounts on Twitter at this point were trying to find out if Chiefsaholic was all right because of all this, him not showing to the game, not responding to messages, no social media posts, and they were actually just concerned about his safety, like, did homie get in a car crash? Is he in the hospital? And this is where things start to take a wild turn, because then people were like, well, how do we find this guy? Like, what's his name? We don't know his name. We don't know his first name. We don't know his last name. Nothing. So people started doing some digging. I think they located a family member who gave him his first name and last initial. And then through that, they were able to do some tracking. And they found a definite, surprising answer to all this. Remember, at first it was just, let's find this guy, make sure he wasn't dead or seriously injured in a car crash or anything like that. But no, it's nothing like that. It turns out he was sitting in a jail cell in Tulsa, Oklahoma, I believe. But he was actually arrested by a police officer in Bixby, Oklahoma, and was in there on a $200,000 bond for multiple charges, listed as this, as you can see on the screen: armed robbery, wearing a mask in commission of a felony, possession of firearm, commission felony, first offense, threaten, violent act, and hold/electronic monitor required, which that last one I think means if he's able to afford to get bailed out, he's gonna have to be electronically monitored with an ankle bracelet of sorts. Anyway, here's the story of what went down. The article starts out saying, a person is in custody after robbing a Tulsa teachers credit union, according to Bixby police. Look at the location, it looks really nice. Mean man, why are you robbing this place? Police say officers were called to an armed robbery in progress at the TTCU near 131st and Memorial in Bixby. According to police, an eyewitness inside the bank at the time of the robbery called Bixby police and gave them a description for the suspect and where they ran to after the robbery. Officers were there within minutes and set up a perimeter in a nearby neighborhood where the suspect was arrested while attempting to escape with a weapon and a large amount of cash. Homie still had the weapon and the bag of gold coins. And then the article says this: the quick and decisive action of the witness permitted Bixby police officers to respond in less than 2 minutes and have the suspect in custody within 6. That's what the Chief of Police Todd Blish said. And then he said, we are so very appreciative of the witness, the bank employees, and the officers that responded to capture this person. I am especially proud of our officers who were able to respond quickly and set up a perimeter and make the arrest. None of the bank employees or witnesses were hurt, and it was later revealed that the suspect was in fact Xavier Michael Budabar, Chiefsaholic himself. And the article finishes by saying, at this time, an investigation is ongoing and BPD is coordinating those efforts with the FBI. This is crazy, man. This guy was literally on his way to the Chiefs game in Texas, made a freaking pit stop to pick up some extra cash along the way before the game, and got caught with the gun and the bag of cash just minutes later. And I'm not sure exactly how this will play out, but it looks like in the state of Oklahoma, any person guilty of robbery in the first degree can face a potential prison sentence of 10 years to life. But robbery in the second degree, which I think this is what it is, can be a sentence not exceeding 10 years total. I have no idea. It could be first degree, could be second degree. I was trying to read the terms. It's beyond me, man. I do news about the Kansas City Chiefs. No law expert. Either way, it's crazy. The most popular Chiefs super fan on social media turned out to be a phony who lied about elements of his life online, pretending to be a decent human being, but all the while casually robbing a bank at gunpoint on the way to a Chiefs game for extra money, maybe to gamble. I don't know. Anyway, it seems this was not Xavier's first rodeo, especially if you look at his record with the police. He's been found guilty multiple times of smaller charges having to do with theft. The question is this the first time he's done something as wild as robbing a freaking bank? What on earth would make someone want to rob a bank? I mean, he's either done this before and gotten away with it, maybe on his way to other games, because remember, he drives to all of them, or maybe it was an act of desperation because he's addicted to gambling and needed the money to pay his debts or spend the money on more bets. Honestly, I have no idea, and this is where the facts of the story pretty much end, though I will spend a bit more time on a few more things I feel like you guys may want to know about. Sure, he could be a serial bank robber using his away game trips as a cover-up to keep his pockets filled with cash to buy tickets, gamble, and even attend Mahomes' 15 in the Mahomies charity event and donate with dirty money. But I have no idea if any of that is true, except for the fact that he did indeed go to Mahomes' foundation's gala. He was there, donated, won a painting, but I have no idea whether or not he used dirty money or where he got that money, as this is the first bank robbery he's been arrested for. You hear anybody else say otherwise, it's pretty much hearsay, which is why I want to add that caveat in there. There's also this screenshot of an $80,000 wager placed on the Chiefs to beat the Bills, and a source that I do deem as reliable. He said that Chiefsaholic did place the $80,000 wager. He confirmed it with Chiefsaholic in a text message. Then Chiefsaholic told him this: "Do not let that get out. I like to hustle in private." And then Xavier seemed unfazed when he lost that much money because the Chiefs lost to the Bills, and that drew a definite red flag. Like, how can a guy who manages warehouses afford to put $80,000 down on a bet, then not care when he lost it? Well, he's either in some serious gambling debt, just makes so much money at his warehouse job, his folks have a lot of money, or he robbed freaking banks to pay for it all. Another thing, it seems that he may have been raised in an environment that enabled this behavior, because there's an article from back in 2012 that a mom and her sons were held on suspicion of forgery, burglary, and conspiracy for trying to use phony vouchers at a restaurant. And at this time, there was a minor in this article that went unnamed because he was listed as a 17-year-old. And if you base that age there in 2012 with Xavier being 20 at the time of his arrest in 2014, the ages check out, and this is more than likely Xavier and his family. And to double down on that, while I won't release their names, though it is public information, you can literally find it in the article in the description down below, I will confirm that his mom's name in the article matches his mom's name in real life. Trust me, I did my research, and they did live on the West Coast during this time, so it seems to match. Though while I am confident in this, I'm not 1,000% sure. If true, though, it seems he was taught that things like this were okay from a young age, and that is never ideal. One thing I do want to point out that is not true is that wolf photo circulating of the bank robbery. I mean, basically all the main news articles are sharing a picture of Chiefsaholic in his Chiefs costume, whatever, at a Chiefs game, and then this man robbing a bank. It's not Chiefsaholic, at least that I know of. This is actually from a bank robbery in DeKalb, I think is how you say it, DeKalb, Illinois, back in 2016. I don't think that was him. I guess it could be. I think that robbery went unsolved, though I do hope Xavier used his wolf mask at the bank in Oklahoma, but there's no confirmation as of right now. Hey, I got a quick update that I need to share with you guys since recording this video before I hit export. Bixby Police Department, they have actually tweeted out at Pat McAfee himself saying, hey, he wasn't caught in Texas, because Pat McAfee said he was. He was caught within 6 minutes of Bixby, Oklahoma. I'll put the screenshot up, but that was confirmed by the Bixby Police Department. And then somebody tweeted out to this police department and said, as your 34th follower, may I congratulate you on your recent bank robbery arrest. A question: was a suspect wearing a wolf mask during the robbery? To which the police department actually responded saying the suspect was not wearing a costume-style mask. So, gosh dang it. Sorry to disappoint y'all, he was not wearing his infamous wolf mask. Anyway, that's about all I have on the situation at the moment. If there's other major updates to this story, I'll make another video and pin it in the comment section down below. And I think a great note to end this on is never trust a man whose persona is a literal wolf and tweets out things like, hate on me all you want, but never question my character/honesty when elements of his life literally have been built on a lie. And with all that being said, let me know your thoughts on all of this craziness in the comments down below because, yeah, there's a lot to process through. There's fans out there now pegging Chiefs fans as, I don't know, being supportive of this guy, wanting him out of jail, or then broad brushing it to all Chiefs fans are pieces of garbage like this guy, when honestly, there's always going to be fringe, crazy people of every fan base. Just unfortunately, in this situation, it was one of the most popular super fans on social media. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on all this down below. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those?